Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good.
I'm sorry, I am looking at the PowerPoint because we just received another question and I am trying to put this here. Okay, I have to duplicate this. Let me share with you so you can see while I edit. But it's basically this first one here. I have already talked to Oren via email. I guess he hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
And then we have this one, number two. I think this is about launch control.
Okay.
She didn't this launch here. Yes, she didn't complete, I put here just like she put in the question. So I need her to give me more details. The
Okay.
third one is the RV parks that we were talking about. And now we have this one here. It's two
Change
questions.
count.
Actually, he sent a third one. Just a second. Let me grab that. Just like we were talking about today, print fonts for the envelopes.
Okay.
So I think they are getting ready to mail if they are asking about envelopes.
Oh, it only took 3 months. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Today is the 29th, right?
Correct.
I changed the questions and forgot to change the date. Okay, let me allow people. We have
Yeah.
Jay, Chris, and Katie here.
Cool. So I'll demo the stuff first.
Mm-hmm. Sure, no problem. Hey, Katie, how are you? Oh, we have.
Hello, hello.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We also have Jay, Chris, all. How are you guys?
Good. How about yourself?
Good, how are you?
Nice. I'm fine, thank you. So, guys, for I don't know, I think everyone here knows me already. My name is Mariana. I am the customer success manager here at Pebble. Today, we also have Kevin with us, who is
Yeah.
one of our
Hello. No
co-founders.
problem.
He's more into the product side of things, so building the platform and stuff. And I don't remember if Al has come to these calls already. So I'm just going to give you guys a run through of what we normally do on Wednesdays. So we do this every Wednesday. It's mostly to answer your questions and help you with your doubts. We normally receive some questions before the call, but if we have time in the end, we can also take some questions live. And in the beginning, before the questions, we also go through our new features, okay? So this week, we actually have two new features, and I am going to start sharing here. So, oops, just a second. So we can start by doing that. So, Kevin, let's start by the deal boards. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. So, okay. So Kevin, do you want to start?
Sorry, Marianne. My headphones were off there. Could you repeat?
Okay. We are going to start the demo, the new features demo, and let's start by the deal scoring, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
No
So,
problem.
yeah, so what we've just launched here the past couple days is the ability to now score deals by a priority. So, Mariana, if you could click into one of those deals. Yeah, let's just go into one of those. Okay, so at the top, you'll see up at the next to the team member assignment, we now have the ability to set a priority. You can set this to cold, warm, or hot. So this is a great thing to do if you have a team and you want to focus your team's energy on a deal that is like very important, particularly when you're doing lots of deals and you have lots of team members. It can be easy to not recognize what deals are like those ones that we really need to focus our attention on. So we have this ability now to mark these deals in terms of priority. And when you do that, you'll then be able to go to the board. So we can go back to the board, Mariana. And you'll see each deal is listed by its priority, but you can now filter your board by that priority. So if you just want to say, let me see all my hot deals right now, I can select hot. That will show you those specific deals. And then lastly, what we can do is we can sort our deals by a specific priority. So let's say you've got a list there. Yeah, you can select any is the one you want. Yep, there we go. And then on any of those columns on your board, you can sort your deals. So Mariana, if you click the three dots there up the top of the deal, and you can now sort by the priority. So if you want all those high priority deals to go at the top of your list, you can quickly set that and have those reorder so that that's the case.
I'm
So
going to have put this Fernando as code so we can actually
mhm,
see. Actually, no, let me do it hot because Maureen is warm. So let's
mhm,
sort this here. So the hot comes to the top.
mhm. Yeah, so now instead of having to, we had some users who were like putting a little, changing the name to like indicate that it was a hot deal or something that needed to be focused attention on. We now can do that independently and give you a little bit more functionality around that. So that is deal priority. That was launched last couple days. So
Mm-hmm.
please play around with it and let us know if you have any feedback.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, let's also talk. Actually, I don't know if you saw this, but we have a new inbox feature as well. I just
Right.
tested it today. So we have been getting a lot of our users telling us that they are receiving a bunch of spam calls, and previously there was no way of blocking those calls. So what we have introduced here is this little bell icon here. So once you click on a conversation, you have this number and you have this bell icon here. This
Mhm.
means that you can mute that number. So that number will not be able to call you again. And if you notice that a spam number is calling you multiple times, you can mute that number and you will not receive those calls again. This just dropped today, okay? So it's very new.
Yeah, great. Those can be very annoying when somebody some robot gets a hold of your number and just starts calling
Yes.
you all the time.
Mhm. Kevin, I think that's it, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Mhm.
we have many more features that we didn't dive in here today, but these are just a couple. We do have a feature update video coming out in the next, I believe, week or two. So keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. We drop those every month, where we dive into a little bit more detail of all of the things that have been shipped for that month. So stay tuned
Mhm.
for that.
Okay. So guys, do you have any questions about the new features? That's okay. Cool. So let's go to our questions that we received before. Just a second. Let me open my PowerPoint here. Okay. So the first one is from Oren. Oren is not here at the moment, I guess. Let me check again. Yeah, but I'm going to answer this because it's pretty quick. And I have also emailed him about this already. So yes, we can do this. We can load material from Travis King's into an account. But the thing is, if you have already done some things in your account, so if you have already set up your own stages and etc., we would need to remove everything you have done to be able to put the new things in. So it's a choice. So Oren, please let me know what you would like to do, and we are going to go forward with that. Then we have Katie, and Katie is here. Katie, I believe you were talking about launch control. Am I correct? Would you like to give us more details?
Yeah, just when the tiles get imported into it, I know campaigns are loaded into both. However, when they're coming into the lead in, I'm still having to attach a name and attach a property and all that. Yes, it's easier to find because they've been uploaded, but they're not automatically attaching. Does that make sense? And
Are
so I didn't
your
know if there
launch
was a way to do
control
that.
leads, are the launch control leads coming through Zapier?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Um, the Zap needs to be set up to associate those properties and those contacts. So if the Zapier, I would say take a look at your Zapier integration. There should be like multiple steps. One should be look up the contact and then look up the property and then create the deal using those associated
Okay.
records. Is that happening?
I don't know, but that's something I can definitely look up and find out. That at least puts me in the right direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. By default, creating the deal will just create the deal, but
Mhm.
you'll have to look up that property or that contact and property in order
Okay.
to create the deal with those. It can get complicated. Zapier is not the most friendly thing in the world, but yeah, that'd be a great place to start.
Amen.
So,
Yeah.
Katie, please give that a try. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go forward here. Email us at support and we can take a look at that as well. Okay.
Okay,
But try to give it a try first and then we can go from there.
perfect.
Okay, so let me go back, guys, and let's go to all. All is here. So does Pebble have a way to draw a lasso around RV parks where the lots are deeded and therefore buyable? So Kevin, we discussed this today. Do you want to explain? I don't I know, but I don't know if I can explain.
Yeah, Al, before we dive into that, is the goal here to mail or create a campaign for these properties, specifically looking for RV parks?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Probably
Um,
sending blind offers
okay.
once I find a set of the finding the park is not that easy, but once you find it, then you can see that there may be about 300 or 400 in there, and so then I could mail to them.
So Pebble doesn't have, well, we have a way to look up properties individually. Like you can pull up a property and look up the neighboring parcels and click on them and see the information. Now, when it comes to actually getting a list that you intend to mail to, that's probably going to be better done in another service like Data Tree um, or Priced or Land Insights or one of those tools that's specifically a list provider. And I know that like Data Tree, for example, you can zoom in on a map and find a bunch of parcels, lasso all of them, and say spit out all the address information from those, and then you bring that into Pebble and mail from there. But Pebble does not build lists
Okay.
like those list providers do.
Now, is there? Let me follow up with that. Your
Sure.
neighbor um, mailing is something
Yes.
like that, right? I mean,
Yes. Neighbor letters are similar, and we do have that option to do the mailing an individual document to neighbors. Um, but the
You
ability
would.
to
he
just
would
go
need
around
to
and
find
lasso
the
a bunch of
first
properties.
one, right? So he would need to find the first one outside of Pebble and then maybe use the neighbor letters, right?
Right. You can make it work in Pebble, but it's going to be a little bit clunky.
Gotcha.
Um, the
How many, is there
using
a
a list from
maximum?
providers.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
there a maximum number of neighbor letters that you can send?
I don't believe there's a maximum. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think at some point we truncate off at like 500 or something.
Okay,
Um,
that'd be
but
enough.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it may be something you could experiment with, but we haven't built Pebble to generate campaigns from a mapping tool just because there's so many providers out there that have that service and like that's all they do. Um, so we haven't really tried to
Okay,
build that into Pebble. Um, but yeah, it might be something that we do in the future.
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And now we have Mark. Mark is not here, but let's try to answer because maybe can be useful for other people. So any way to change campaign count number? Without details, I'm not sure what he means here. Do you know, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, the campaign count is those are the number of mailers within a campaign or records within a campaign. So the only way to change that number is to delete records out of there. So if you delete records, then
Mm-hmm.
the count will change.
Mm-hmm. And any way to add alpha characters to the mailing code?
Uh, no. So we use numeric codes for a reason because we used to have alpha numeric codes. For when we first built Pebble, the codes were alphanumeric. What we found was that it was often you get on the phone with somebody, and maybe their phone microphone is terrible, and they're trying to say a bunch of letters, and it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
understand what they're saying. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually got lots and lots of complaints about having alphabetical letters in our codes. So we changed that and made them numbers only.
Mm-hmm.
So now that alleviates that problem. So no alpha characters in mailing codes,
Mm-hmm.
only numbers.
And just a reminder to you all, the mailing code is automatic, right? So we can't
Mhm.
really dabble in it. And the last one, large fonts print on envelopes. So let's maybe talk about fonts in general in envelopes. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, so by default, we have one font that goes on printed envelopes. So this is when you're activating a campaign and you select that you want the printed envelope type. We have, it's kind of like a semi handwritten font that goes on there. Um, Today, we don't have the option to set that font. There are a few that our mailing provider can do that. Currently, we don't offer that as an option, although we were just talking about that today
Yeah.
about making that an option. So we likely will. I don't have an exact timeline, but that will be something that we do at some point. But for now, it's just the one font. In terms of sizing, there's the font size, I believe, is limited to it's like a 14-point font, and I don't believe there's any way to change that, and that has to do with the USPS regulations. So I'll have to double check that, but I believe it's just a set size for the fonts there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And those were all of our questions for today. But we still have some 10 minutes. So do we have any other questions from you guys here at the moment?
Can you direct me to the methodology of creating a reply form and then getting it onto my website?
Mm-hmm. I can
Yeah,
show you this
absolutely.
right now. What do you think, Kevin?
Sure. We can
Just
do
a
that, or we can.
second.
Al, do you have a website currently?
I do. It's not built yet, but it's kind of a waiting website.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
And I
it,
assume that that's not a Pebble
yeah,
No,
website. It's
no,
an
it's not.
external
Yeah.
website. Okay.
okay,
Sure.
cool.
Yeah. So you can well, I'll let Mariana demo this, but she can show
Mhm.
you how this works.
So, L, you are going to choose an inbox here. So the inbox that you are going to get these emails or these emails, no, sorry, these responses from. I renamed mine, but normally it would be a seller inbox, buyer inbox, and whatever. So you are going to click settings here.
Okay.
And once you do, you are going to come to this page and you will scroll all the way down until you find lead forms. Okay? I have many, maybe you don't have that many. So look for the button that says add lead form. And once you click that, you'll be able to give a name to this. So here you are going to click the edit button. So let's say all form. You can choose the inbox. These messages will come to, okay? So let's say buyer inbox in this case, save changes. And then this part, contact information, we deem this the most important. So this is kind of default. And what you can do here is choose if they will show up in your form or not. So for example, if you are not using our code, you can tag this as hidden, and then we are not going to ask for the code. The opt-in language is this message here. You can edit this message by clicking this. And why is this? Why does this exist? So this is a message that asks for consent of the people. So consent that their information is being recorded and sent to you. And just remember, again, you can edit, it's not required. You can hide it if you want. And then input fields are your personal fields. So you are going to create the questions here. If you want to ask something specific, for example, are all owners living and able to sign the deeds or something? And you can have options like, what is this question going to look like? If you have a drop down, you need to add the options. If you choose other kinds like a multi-line text or single line text or yes or no, you don't need to do anything else. The only one that asks for something else is the drop down. And then you save this. Now, this is a question, okay? If you add a second question, you can actually choose the position. So let's say that I want this to come first. So I just drag this and change the order, okay?
Mm.
You can always edit this again by clicking the edit button,
Yes, I am.
and you can delete this. And this here, this is something that we introduced 2 weeks ago. It's something new. So this is for the later part. So once they have filled in the form, you can set up auto reply messages for them. So you can either send them by text or email. We give you like a standard message, but of course you can hit edit and type your own, both for the email and for the text. And again, this is not required. If you want to have this on your website after they fill in the form, you toggle this on, okay? If you don't want it, you toggle it off. And just be mindful that for the text message, this text needs to come from a phone number. So you need to hit this drop down here and select the phone. Right now, I only have one, but if you have more in your account, you can choose from which one this is coming, okay? Then to finish, you will click create embed code, and then here you need to select custom website. You are going to copy this, okay? So this is something you need to copy, and then you paste it on your website in the place that you want this to show up. Once you do that, the responses to this form will show up in your inbox, okay?
Okay,
Any questions about this?
that's pretty clear. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let me
And
show you how
there
it
are some
looks.
options there, Al, for you can make the form vertical
Yeah,
or
visual
horizontal.
options.
We've got a couple options for skin, so making the colors a little
Yeah,
different
okay.
to sort of match your website there.
So here, the layout, you can do vertical or horizontal, and the skin is the color, so classic, bold, etc. If you want to see how this looks, you have this view form button. So let's take a look there. So as I told you, this is the first part that it's default, it's always going to be there. So
Well, let me
let's
ask
do
you,
this. Yeah,
what's the recommendation regarding including the agree?
the
That's
opt-in.
yeah, that option. Is it
So the opt-in, this is primarily done, it's a requirement for some marketing websites like Launch Control if you're doing texting, and was it Pat Live, Mariana requires this in some scenarios where you do have to have some opt-in checkbox there.
Mm.
If you intend to be texting people after you receive these leads, it's a good idea to have that. There are certain jurisdictions that are more strict about that than others. So I'd say contact your whatever the laws are in your local area that you're
Right,
going to be
right.
mailing to, and just see if there are any required opt-ins before you start texting or emailing people.
And
Okay.
this is what it's going to look like in your inbox, okay? So Christina, she answered this form. It arrived in my inbox. Christina was not on my list, so as you can see, I don't have her contacts here. But because she filled in the form, some of these fields are pre-populated. I can just go ahead and save this. But if the person is in your list, it should show up like this. You should see a contact here, okay? In this case, it's a phone call, but it works the same way. If the person is in your list, you should see the contact here, and then you can create a deal from the inbox, okay?
Okay. Very
Cool.
helpful. Yeah.
Nice. What about the rest of you guys? Do you have any questions? We have 2 minutes, maybe one question. So if that's okay, I guess we can wrap up here. Just a reminder, let me share my screen again, just a second. You can always reach us in our support email if you have any questions. Here it is, hello@pebblerei.com, okay? We do this call every Wednesday, so we go over the questions and the new features that we may have that week. So next week, we will be here again, okay?
Final real quick question. Where do we
Mm-hmm.
find the video of this? Is there a place?
Yeah, it should go up in YouTube later on during the week. I can send you like on your email later on once it does, okay? Because we have a
Okay.
person who actually uploads it and so on. So once she does, I can send you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for coming. We will be here next week. We hope to see you again, okay?
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
y'all. Have a good day.
Thank
You
you. Have a
too.
good day.
Bye bye. See
Bye.
you.